Hello, this is Pamela Gropey Art, and today I am painting California poppies on this wood board. I'm making this an address sign for my front porch. Our current sign is covered by snow, and delivery personnel are having a hard time finding my house because there's no good address sign showing. So I was laying down here an undercoat of Plaid FolkArt Moon Yellow. Yellows and oranges in acrylic paints are not very opaque, so a good undercoat is needed. Now I have a full tutorial here on my YouTube channel as well as on my website pamelagropey.com on how to paint California poppies. And this is very similar, if not the exact same way that I did over there. But I just wanted to show you painting this on a sign. Now this, I'm also going to try and put in some lupines. Here in the mountains, when the California poppies bloom, so does the wild lupines. So I thought that would be a good combo, especially as they are kind of a purple blue. So here I was putting down some under petals, and over here I'm going to do a very simple poppy, and I'm just going to lay down the yellow. This is a number 12 flat Donna Dewberry Onestroke brush, and I make the back petal kind of a V, very wide V, and I just kind of wiggle it along, and I'm going to bring it down, and I'm just going to fill in. Now remember, this is the undercoat. We are going to go over this. And if you want to make it a little wider, maybe I do, go right ahead. And I'm trying to come down to a point right here. None of these others are dry, so I'm going to have to get a blow dryer and dry them so that we can get going on it much faster. Now while those colors are drying, the moon yellow of the poppies, I'm going to bring in the stems and paint some of the lupine. Now this is the same as the Texas Bluebonnet tutorial on my website, and I have a video on YouTube as well. So you can see that to get a really good step-by-step. Now these are all going to have stems coming down as well, and I'm using Thicket and Citrus Green in the Plaid FolkArt Multi-Surface, and I'm just going to put in some, I'm thinking 3 stems. And I'm not going to get too carried away because the lupine are kind of a backdrop to the poppies. I'm just doing some little side branches. For the lupine. I'll do a little top. Okay, now I'm going to start on the buds of the lupine, and I'm going to use a filbert for this. It's kind of a ratty looking filbert, but we're going to give it a swirl. Now I'm using Perfect Purple and Lavender, and you see on a filbert I load one side dark, the other side with the lighter color, and then I'm just going to do the one color, and I'm just kind of looking at my, on the dark surface it's kind of blending in, but that's okay. Like I said, it's just kind of a backdrop to these, and I can put some up here too, as if there's a plant up there, and pull in a stem just so there's some contrast up against the poppies. And if I want to, I can bring in some white. Right now I'm not going to. I may go into more of the lighter color. and then darker as I go down. Just getting these lupines in here. That's going to get a little covered up by the stem and base of that. Poppy. And you don't have to be too precise. Like I said, this is just an impression of a flower, not reality. And I lost some color there. And that's fine. We can go over it a little bit later. Some of them are in front. You don't have to leave the stem totally visible. And you saw a little bit of green got into that. I'm not worried about it. It all comes out in the wash. It all looks pretty when it's done. Okay, I could put a little bit in there because that is another one. Get a little bit of this violet pansy. I think it has a little more red to it than the blue, but it looks good. Okay, so we're going to let those dry. I think, yes, the yellows are dry enough. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some more moon yellow on my palette. Right now I'm using kind of a plate covered with plastic wrap. It's got kind of a bubble there. I need to let it out. So I'm going to double load my brush with the pure orange and the moon yellow. And hopefully I will get these strokes right the first time. If not, I will just go over them. So let me look at a picture. I have a picture pulled up of a poppy. And let me see, I'll go to the side first. And I want to fill that in with the orange down lower. Reloading my brush. And this one. I want mostly orange down here. So I'm trying to get more orange on my brush than the yellow. And here I'm going to go along this back and bring it down over that, because I want it to be a petal that comes down over those. I don't have quite the contrast on this side that I want, so I'm going to come back with more yellow. Okay, we'll stick with that. And we'll come in and we'll do another petal along the front. But we'll let that dry first. So now I'm going to do this one over here. And it's kind of the same. I want the yellow along the outside edge. Very thin. Fill in with the orange. Getting more yellow on my brush. I'm going to come up, and it kind of pulls into that orange. So I've got that. And like I said, there's going to be a front petal coming across. So I'm just kind of looking at the pictures of the different poppies so I can make them all a little bit different. I got orange in my yellow, so now I got to put fresh yellow out so it's clean, because I started picking up too much orange. So let's see, go along. I'm kind of thinking what. Okay, I want this one to be along the back. Now I'm going to do this petal. No, I'm going to do this one, sorry. Sorry. Keep getting orange in that. But this one kind of goes up and it flares a little bit and then comes back down. And I'm not getting the orange in there. So I'm just going to go with the corner of my brush and pull the orange in there. I keep losing which one I'm working on. Okay, now I'm going to go and pull this back petal over top of that one. The glare of the light, okay, I can see now. The glare of the light was preventing me from seeing if that edge really was yellow. And I can come back with just yellow. I'll rinse out my brush. Just get yellow and really pull a yellow edge if I'm not getting the contrast I want. Okay. One more. This one has kind of a really long back petal. One big long sweep. I'm not getting enough orange, so I'm just going to pull that in and then go back over it. I want that really orange down there. And then pull that. Whoops, got too much yellow on there. Go back into orange and pull orange. Excuse me, I have yellow and orange on my brush. Whoops, I'm out of orange. I get a little more orange. Wrong orange. A little vivid orange, which is a lighter orange, and I didn't want that. Okay. Let me do this one more time. Since I got that orange, I want the yellow along that edge. Okay. It's all good now. Okay, those have to dry. And I'm going to put a very small line, which I'll go get a little brush, of green. And I'll probably have to go back over this because when I do the next petals, it may cover it. But a little line right here at the base of the petals. And I just have the brush double loaded with that Thicket and citrus green. And I can pull down a stem. I would prefer to do that with a bigger brush. It just makes it easier for me. So with the number 12 flat, I'm just going to come in and pull the stems for these. Make sure that my brush has got a chisel edge. Just touch. That one, I'll just act like it's coming over here. And this one is coming down. Try not to get into the blue. And that one is just kind of coming down there. And I'll indicate maybe some leaves of the poppies. And these I still kind of struggle with. They're kind of very frilly. And so I just kind of go for an indication of them and not the reality. So it kind of goes up here and then it kind of has a fan shape. So I just put in a few since I'm quite terrible at them. Little fronds. That one's going that way. I don't really, okay, this one can have. So there we go, we have their little, and when the purple's dry I could drag some of the stems through some of the purple flowers rather than around them, like this one right here. This one right here can go through it. Let me see if I can get on there. Go through those ones down there. And I want that one to be in front. So this can actually come across and meet that, but I drug the purple. But overall you're not going to really notice that. So we will pause here briefly while I take the blow dryer to the poppies and we can dry them. Okay, they are all dry. Let me turn it a little bit, make sure we're focused. And I'm going to put on the front petals. So, got the same orange, pure orange, moon yellow, and we are going to come up. This one's going to be one big stroke and come down kind of over here. One big stroke, come down over here, and I'll pull the orange right here. I may have to go over it again to make it more opaque, as well as make it really contrast with the undercolors. This one we're going to have kind of a short little one right along here. Sorry about that, the camera just turned off on me. I don't know why. Oh, unless the card is full. Let's see if we can do this again. Sorry about that, the card was full. So now I put the wrong color in the paintbrush. Alright, so here we go. I was doing that short petal there, still a little wet, but I'll show you how I came along here and let it dive into there. I want this really orange. And then we did the front petal on this one. I want that very, very yellow along the edge, and I was bringing it up here, brought it across, and let it dive down into that side. So the petal's kind of not in front of that one completely. It's kind of turned to the side. I'm trying to get as close without being exact to my picture. My paint is kind of warm in here, it's drying pretty fast. And this one, I did this portion of this stroke, and then I'm going to come back and do another one right on top. And that is going to go this way. So this petal is over top of that petal. And I kind of wanted it to go down like that. And then that's very orange down there. And I don't want that down, I want it to kind of come straight across. Now, any of these I can fix later if I'm not pleased with how they turned out. It's one thing about these paints and this style of painting, nothing is exact, and I don't go for exact, but it all works out in the long run. Now this one is kind of open, so I'm going to put the little center. It has a little star-shaped center. I've got the lighter yellow. This is a lemon custard. It's a much lighter yellow, and I'm trying to get it inky and get a point on my brush so I can get this little starburst coming out of the center here. Put a little dot right there. See if any others are more open and need a center. Nope, I think that looks good. Okay, so I can go back over some of my bases to make sure they show well. And I will walk away, and then I'll come back, and if I need to put on an edge or more yellow out of an edge, or just make it more defined, I can do that by going over it with just some yellow. Or if I need to add in more orange, because right here it looks like it's not quite as opaque as I would like it to be. Let me turn it straight for you so you can see it straight on. And I can zoom out just a little. And so there's my poppies so far with the lupines. And I hope you enjoyed this little painting demo. And check out my full blog post on painting poppies, as well as these are lupines, but the blog post is Texas bluebonnets. Happy painting!